Hello, I'm Keith Robinson with Liberty Union Thurston Middle School, and my dialogue project is titled Attributes of a Leader. So to begin, why leadership and why did I choose this dialogue on attributes of a leader? After reading the book Call Sign Chaos, Learning to Lead by former Secretary of Defense, U.S. Marine Corps retired General James Mattis, I've been intrigued with just the idea and the question of are leaders born or are they made? And leadership and giftedness is a quality I seem to see less and less of each year. So I decided to hold a dialogue with 3 of Liberty Union's gifted students about the attributes of a leader, which can be found on page 133 of the Fonseca book, I'm Not Just Gifted. So Christine Fonseca's I'm Not Just Gifted, Social Emotional Curriculum for Guiding Gifted Children. I actually really like this book. It offers ready-made, easy to complete exercises that deal with real issues our gifted students face. This is something that once we do get back to in-person class, there are all kinds of ready-made with handouts, assessments, different dialogues, different social emotional exercises that you can go through. It includes this book includes guidance on how to embed effective curriculum into the classroom, evidence-based design, and it provides templates for lessons. So I really like this book. This is something that I will definitely be using in class going forward. So my research, there were 2 peer-reviewed articles and 1 chapter of the textbook that I looked at. So the first one was Developing Leadership Skills in Young Gifted Students. That was from the Gifted Child Today. Another article from the Gifted Child Today journal is Leadership is a Must for Children Who Are Gifted and Talented. And then one of the chapters from the Education of the Gifted and Talented textbook that we've been using in numerous courses. I used one of those in my annotated bibliography, and they've got some great points on the importance of leadership, teaching and fostering and working with leadership skills with gifted students. So the plan, the participants, I chose 3 male Liberty Union Thurston Middle School students who are identified as gifted. 1 who is now in grade 7 and 2 who were in grade 8. Given the current situation, I had to be very selective, and the pool to choose from was very limited. So just kind of had to go with what we could go with. We did hold this outside, proper social distancing for safety. And to be honest, I chose students whose parents I know well for accountability and safety measures. And here's a screenshot of one of the activities, the results of one of the activities from one of the students that we completed. So the plan, implementation, and rollout. Lesson 34, Attributes of a Leader. The objective of this dialogue, students to identify specific qualities of leadership, explain the meaning of leadership, and identify personal leadership qualities. Now, early in this, we kind of just started discussing leaders. What are words that you think of when you think of leaders, and who are some leaders from history that stick out to you? Some observations I'll go ahead and get into right now about this whole dialogue. Students were a bit nervous at first. Everything's weird. Kids not being around each other, worrying about, wearing masks, all those kind of things. At first, students were a little bit nervous. They just didn't seem like themselves. But once we got going, I think it went pretty well. And the kids actually really got into this, which it ended up being surprising how much they got into it. I think it's just clear. It's evident that these kids miss being in school. They need to be in a classroom. So one of the things we did was we had them throw out some of the words when they think of a leader. What were some of the words? And I created a Wordle here, and it's a little surprising. The two most common words that were used were words strong and popular. I thought it was funny that kids thought that one of the attributes of a leader was popular, and that will come back into play here in just a moment. These are some of the, when we talked about who were some leaders that you can think of. These were some of the names: Donald Trump, Rosa Parks, George Washington, Gandhi, Barack Obama, Tom Brady. But I also like that one of the students brought up the principal, Mr. Turner. So these were some of the leaders that they talked about and mentioned when we talked about who a leader was. As I went through this, there was an exercise we did where students had to take different words that they had written down, what they thought attributes of a leader were, and to make just like a little cartoon strip or an image of those. And the kids kind of enjoyed that. But some observations that I made through this that I think are very fitting and telling. Number one, not one single participant felt as though they were leaders. Given the fact that popular was one of the most popular words chosen, this makes complete sense. A lot of our gifted kids do not feel, often they do not feel as though they are popular. So that was interesting. I would like to continue this conversation with these three students. I'd like to find out more about why they don't feel like they're popular or why they don't feel that they're viewed by their peers as leaders. I think that if we were to do a poll, that these three students probably would be considered more leaders than what they think themselves. All three of the students chosen are considered leaders by previous teachers. I've talked to previous teachers that they had, and they all felt that these kids were leaders, and they did see leadership qualities. So this is something that we need to work with these kids. This dialogue is definitely something I want to try with a whole group of students in a regular classroom setting. So that is just an overview of my attributes of a leader dialogue project. Thanks for watching.